हरिः ॐ शं नो मित्रस्यं वरुणः शं नो भवत्वर्यमा शं न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Now we are going to the next set of meditations, and it is how to find out a new moon and a full moon according to our own horoscope. It is called our own new moon and our own full moon in a month. Like that, we will have our own full moon and new moon once in a year. So apart from the general new moon and full moon, other new moons and two full moons and two new moons are there once in a month, once in a year in our personal horoscope. That's why we call them as our new moon, our full moon in the month and in the year. The calculation is so simple. Take your horoscope, find out where is your sun, in which sign it is. So to find out our new moon and full moon in a month, it is so easy. Find out your sun first. Suppose if it is in Leo, 15 degrees for example. It is for example. Then go to the moon. In that particular month, when moon comes to Leo, 14 degrees, and joins the sun, it is called your own new moon. New moon means where the sun and moon are in the same degree, in the same sign. That is the new moon. So what happens when when the moon joins the sun in that particular sign where your sun is, that is your new moon. Then the moon goes away from that sign and it will take 2.5 days time to change its sign, and then it will travel. Suppose if your sun is in Leo, moon comes to that place and then stay there for 2.5 days and then go to the next sign, Virgo, like that, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and it goes to Aquarius. Aquarius is the opposite sign of the Leo, the seventh sign from the Leo. When moon and sun and moon are in the opposition, it is called the full moon. Then that day will become your personal full moon. The way we meditate on the new moon and the general new moon and general full moon, it's common to all, we have to meditate on our own new moon and our own full moon also. This is the application. And then, once in a year, we will have our own full moon and we will have our own new moon. The calculation is so simple. And then what? In the first stage, we take the sun and then we calculate the movements of the moon. When we want to locate the new moon and the full moon once in a year, then move the sun, not the moon. Suppose your moon is in Cancer, for example. So let it be like that. And when suppose your sun is in Pisces or Aries, for example. So sun takes 1 month to travel from one sign to another sign. Moon takes 2.5 days, but sun take to cross 30 degrees, that is 1 month, it will take 1 month. So what happens when your moon is in Cancer, when your sun is in Aries, you find out the sun is travel. It comes to Aries, then it is already in the Aries, then it goes to Taurus, and then it goes to Gemini, and then it comes to Cancer. Already your moon is in the Cancer, for example 10 degrees. When sun come to Cancer, and it will become your own new moon, the same degrees. You understand that? Then what happens after 1 month? It goes to the next sign, Cancer to Leo, and like that, like that, like that. And finally comes to Capricorn. What is Capricorn? It is the opposite sign to sign Cancer. The seventh sign from the Cancer sign. That is your full moon. Full moon means sun opposition or moon opposition, sun or moon. New moon means sun conjunction moon or moon conjunction sun. It's so simple. So locate that, calculate that day also. You will get only one full moon in a year and one new moon in the year. When you make the sun travel and come to the moon and then goes to opposite sign of the moon. This is very, very important. So, what is the application part of it? We are speaking about the meditation part, but how to make use of the movements of the sun and the moon, and how to use our own personal new moon and personal full moon in the month and the year. This we have to chalk out a program in our monthly life, in the month or in the year. There is a way. When moon is going towards the full moon, it is what we call the expansion time. This is called the time of expansion. When we wanted to prove ourselves, or when we wanted to start a project where we have to work in the objective world, or dealing with the people, whatever it may be, whatever is there to deal with the objective world, in the social world, or any branch, it is always better to start when the moon is traveling towards the full moon. You have to keep it in mind. And then any subjective things like meditation, or reading the books, and meeting the great people, and working for our own, and to consolidate the things, to plan the things, sitting in the house, and to plan about the future, are all these subjective things. It is always better to plan when the moon is slowly coming towards the new moon. This is how we have to plan if it is in our hands. If it is not in our hands, we can't help. If it is in our hands, we can plan like that. Like that, the 6 months and 6 months, the new moon and full moon side in our life, when the moon crosses your sun, that is your new moon in that particular year, and it is traveling towards the opposite sign, seventh sign, it is those 6 months are called the full moon months, because moon is traveling towards the full moon. That is the time where you have to express yourself, excel yourself, try for something in the objective world, for any success or any fame or whatever it may be. And whenever you are dealing with the objective world and the people around you, or in the office or anywhere, that is the best time for you. When it comes to from full moon to new moon side, the 6 months, you have to use those. You have to use those 6 months time for your personal spiritual growth, or doing something in the house or in the subjective world, or practicing yoga and pranayama and chanting mantra, or meeting the great people, or go deep and deep inside. All these things, this is what we call the time of consolidation. So this is how we have to plan our life if it is in our hands. If you are working somewhere under somebody, or if you are working somewhere in some job or something like that, we cannot plan according to our own likings, because our life is, we are working somewhere under somebody. But even otherwise, even then, some things are there in our hands. You have to understand that. Even though we are working under somebody and all the time we have to follow their advice and command or plan, even then we will have our own time, space. Then we have to organize like this. So this is the way we have to plan our life and things in our life. This is the purpose of the full moon and new moon things. You understand, anything in this world, we can use it, we can apply it in the subjective world or in the objective world. You have to understand that. Subjective world means you will take everything into consolidation side and learn something and prove something, achieve something in the subjective world, right? Objective world means where we work, we get money, we get fame, we get success, and working with the people and the groups and the organizations or institutions, offices, business, whatever it may be. So these are the things generally we follow, and this is just for your information. And if you go much more deeper into the new moon side and the full moon side, and I will also correlate one thing here, and don't be confused here. In the horoscope, I explained to you about the above the horizon and below the horizon. Above the horizon means from 7th house to the 12th house. Below the horizon means from first house to 7th house. We can also correlate like this. Many of the planets are in between the 1st and 7th house in any horoscope. They are more subjective. And many planets are there in the objective side, that is above the horizon between the 7th and 12th houses. They are more objective in horoscopes also. But don't think they are completely subjective and completely objective. Don't think like that. They are more objective and they are more subjective. Not completely. They are more objective when the planets are there between 1st and 7th house. They are more objective when more planets are there between the 7th house and the 12th house. We have to take the horoscopes of our friends or great people, and people who are very good in their subjective life, and you find out how many planets are there, and people who are very successful in the objective world, take their horoscopes and find out how many planets are there in the objective world. Even in the planets also, some planets are very good in the subjective side, some planets are very good in the objective side. By chance, fortunately, the planets who are successful, who indicates the objective side of life, if they are between 7th and 12th house, they will add something to it. Some planets which are subjective in their nature, if they are between 1st house and the 7th house, and the subjective nature will become more strong because of the influence of those planets. Like that, we have to, when we are learning so many things, we have to take the notes, and then whenever we can apply this with some other law or a rule, then very carefully we have to apply that, and we have to find out and verify by looking into the horoscopes, or by looking into our own horoscope or a family member's horoscopes or the friend's horoscopes. We have to gather some horoscopes with us and try to read the horoscopes, write important points from that horoscope without any prejudice. And then whenever we know a new application, we have to apply that to that horoscope and find out whether it is right or not. If it is right, it is okay. If it is not right, then you have to find out why it is not according to the science of astrology, and anything has to learn more or any error in the calculation. All these things we have to try on our own, then we can go further. With this, the new moon and the full moon calculations and the process of meditation and how to deal with them in our daily life is over. Okay. In the next lesson about the 12 months in the year and how a baby is grown up in the womb, and what is the year and all those things. It is a very beautiful lecture given by the master in a simple way. I will explain this tomorrow. Okay.